Hi Fad Campers, it's Grace here and I have some new stand updates I'd love to tell you about. If you're based in the UK, I will be doing some dates in July and August and I'd love to see some of you there. I'll be in Leeds doing a work in progress with Amy Annette on July 4th in the Hyde Park Book Club. I'll be in Brighton on July 6th with Alison Spittle in the Comedia Comedy Club, and I'm going to be doing my own work in progress show in Glasgow on July 12th at Good Egg Comedy. Also then, I will be at the Edinburgh Fringe, of course, for the entirety of August, from July 30th to August 24th. I'll be at the Assembly George's Square, the Crate, 10 to 3 every day. Would love if you could tell anyone you know who's going to be at the Edinburgh Fringe to come see my show. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
This show is part of the Head Stuff Podcast Network.
Hello, Fad Camp listeners. It's Grace here. Let's be honest, your favourite Fad Camp presenter. We won't tell Conor. As you might know, I am a stand-up comedian and I'm currently working on a new show. I'll be performing all over the UK over the next few months, whipping my new show, Did You Hear We're All Going to Die, into shape. I would love to see some of you there. It's going to be great crack. So I'll be at the Leicester Comedy Festival on February 6th. In London, I'll be at the Top Secret Comedy Club March 6th. The Glasgow, I'll be at the Glasgow International Comedy Festival March 15th. And I'll be at the London Irish Centre with Alison Spittle on March 27th. That's going to be a great gig. There'll be even more shows announced for further months. All of the details and tickets are in the link on my Instagram bio, which is Grace Mulvey Comedy. So just go to my Instagram account, Grace Mulvey Comedy, click on the link and you'll get all the details. Thanks.
What's the best way to reduce? Eat plenty or starve yourself?
30 pounds in just 18 weeks. Jenny Craig totally worked.
I love to eat, but overeating made it impossible to lose weight.
My body wants bread, and I'm going to give my body what it wants.
Oh my God.
So I lost
Naturally.
Medical studies prove that overeating is the number one reason for weight gain. If you need to lose weight, use safe and natural springs away and bring your weight down without the use of
Welcome to Fad Camp, a podcast that throws a comedy eye over our societal obsession of diets. Now, a little disclaimer, we are not health experts, but we are fad diet connoisseurs. I'm your host, comedian Grace Mulvey.
And I'm your co-host, Conor Dowling.
Welcome to Fad Camp.
Hello and welcome to a new episode of Fad Camp, guys. Conor, do you know what we're talking about today?
I have no idea. I'm very excited.
Well, listen, well, get ready to be unexcited because I'm getting sad over here doing my research on this. It is all about the disappearance of plus-size clothing.
Oh my God.
Yes, it's... Do you know what? At first, I saw this come up on TikTok as a kind of topic, and I was like, oh, you know, maybe this is just the experience of a few people, and I decided to do a bit of research on it. Well, lo and behold, weren't they right? And plus-size clothing is disappearing.
I feel like we're moving into our conspiracy era of Fad Camp.
You know? And I actually hate it. I don't want to be like this. Why are you making me like this world?
There are no coincidences.
Yeah, there are not.
That's all I'm going to say.
And 99% of conspiracy theories are true.
Yeah.
Like, everyone knows this.
Absolutely.
No, they are not. Anyway, listen. There is a great content creator on TikTok called Samira, Samyra. Go give her a follow if you're interested. And she is a plus-size black woman in the States who, you know, I think she's a model as well. Like, you know, one of these kind of people who has various talents.
She's done it all.
She's done it all. She's seen it all.
What hasn't she done?
Anyway, she came up on my For You page and it was her going into just clothing stores and asking them,
oh my gosh,
do you stock my size? Like, I think she might be at 3XL or 4XL. But like, to the point where it was so hilarious how many of them were like, no, we don't really go past. And this is now me kind of conversationally saying an LXL. Yeah. And she was like, okay, but they'll be like, but it's on the website.
Oh.
But it's on the website.
Oh gosh.
And maybe some of them weren't on the website as well.
Yeah.
We're noticing a disappearance of that. But it kind of was a topic that I was like, oh, maybe it's just this, you know, it's hard when you see TikToks like this. You don't want to take it on face value that this is what's happening across the board.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, this is something, not only was I hearing from this content creator, but I was seeing then from other content creators who would have worked with these brands before and been hired to try out their clothing were suddenly like, oh, there's another brand that no longer stocks my size or no longer is doing plus size clothing. So I was like, okay, let's have a good look at this and see if this is actually something. And I'm telling you, lo and behold, next thing it was on Vogue, next thing it was on like like, essentially a lot of Vogue Business in particular did a great article about kind of like the business behind the reason this is happening. Can you guess one of the reasons why it's happening, Conor?
Discrimination.
No, actually, that's, do you know what? Sorry. Yes. It is. It is. That's something I'm going to bring up later, but it's so funny that wasn't even the number one reason.
Oh, God, but that's part of it.
It is Ozempic, baby.
Whoa.
Ozempic.
Okay, I need a moment to recover
Yeah.
from that truth bomb you just
Yeah.
slapped
Sorry,
me
truth bomb.
upside.
You went discrimination. I was like, well, actually, yeah. That's the main one.
That's what's fueling it.
That's what's fueling it.
G.
GX.
Bro.
It's the old Ozempic. Now, I'm going to go into this kind of with, I'm not going to lie, maybe the first part of this podcast episode is going to be quite depressing.
Okay.
But we're going to go full swing in the back end.
That's our whole vibe.
That's our whole vibe. First we come in with the most depressing news of your life, and then we're like, but actually that's not quite true. Basically, because of Ozempic, we're going...
Brozempic. Am I right? Where are my Brozempics at?
You know what? The part of Ozempic that it really gives me is the ick. So the Ozempic effect, this is from a number of articles, which I will put into the show notes, by the way, because I think these are great articles to read. Because what this content creator was saying, like, I think a lot of people can come into... I think we're coming into a time at the moment where you're going to see a lot more of maybe possibly the very early noughties thinness being thrown into our face. Remember that whole heroin chic, which is a horrible phrase.
Kate
but I
Moss.
think you're going to start seeing a lot more of that come up within the entertainment industries, within the fashion industries. I think it is going to be a trend you're going to see. And I think that it's good to talk about it now, because sometimes when you're in it, you feel like you're going insane because you're like, wait, am I the only one noticing this? And when that content creator said it, she has hundreds of thousands of followers. In a way, I was like, maybe we're just being silly. But then when actually I'm reading the cold hard facts of what's happening, I'm like, no, we're not. We're not being silly. This is the trend we're coming into. And it's good to know it so that you don't feel insane. You don't feel alone in it. But yeah, Ozempic.
Finger on the pulse.
God, we're good.
Oh
God,
my
we're
God.
good here at Fat Camp.
That's scary, because it's one of those things that's kind of hard to document.
Quantify in the moment.
While it's happening in real time, you know?
Yeah, and anyway, and listen, it's not like plus size clothing was so fucking easy
Plentiful.
to get. Like from the beginning of Fat Camp, we talked about, remember that time you were on a website and you gave your details of like your measurements, and I gave you like 2 shirts that you could buy for the entire internet. Like, it's not like this was amazingly like, I don't know, gettable or buyable in the first place. But basically because of Ozempic, listen, it is a diabetes medication. We've spoken about it before. You'll have heard a lot about it, that has skyrocketed in popularity.
The topic has evolved so much since we've even talked about it in a short space, in less than a year, really.
And the reason why we spoke about it, you can go back and Conor did it. You kind of presented that episode. It was a supplement episode or weight loss injection episode. Anyway, you'll see it in our feed. Because it was offered to you by a doctor, and we were like, okay, why is this just suddenly becoming a thing? It's become huge since then.
Yeah.
So in the past few years, this has become like a weight loss weapon of the rich and famous, okay? Now, it doesn't just have a knock-on effect of like just weight loss that we see in celebrities. It has a knock-on effect in the way our economy works. And this is the whole thing that I'm going to bring. My theme for this show is, if you're going to talk about a god of our society right now, it's capitalism. Capitalism is our god, right? No, I'm not saying that literally.
Blasphemous of you, but yes, continue.
But you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like, it's the way our whole society and structure works tends to be, hey, we want to make a buck, right? Fat phobia actually still seems to trump capitalism. Even in the fact that we go for capitalism, it's still, in fact, discrimination and fat phobia tends to trump it, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you some facts about why I think that's true and why I think my thesis here is true. But let's go into why Ozempic is going to have such an effect on certain businesses. Okay, according to Goldman Sachs, who again did great work now when it came to the economic collapse a few years back.
There's some lads.
There's some lads. GLP-1
drugs,
which is the type of drug we're talking about, which is Ozempic is like a brand, but it's a GLP-1
semaglutide,
which is a medication group targeting weight loss and diabetes, could be used by up to 70 million consumers worldwide by 2028. Now, that's according to Goldman Sachs, okay? Again, this is all estimations and probably a lot what they want when you're talking about things like Wall Street and you're going to talk about things like shares and is their hopes, you know what I mean? Ozempic and similar drugs will become cheaper and more easily accessible.
And easily, easier to take as well. Like if it hasn't already happened, there's very much a pill version in the works.
Oh, for sure.
You know, it's on the way if it's not already here.
Done, yeah. In the US alone, Bank of America expects 48 million Americans will be on GLP-1 medications by 2030. Ozempic manufacturer Novo Nordisk reported sales of the drug grew 58% in 2023. Okay, so that's just huge numbers. I'm just throwing numbers at you, right? So, the Nikki Zink, deputy head of industry analysis at the intelligence firm Morning Consult, they conducted several surveys across Ozempic and other weight loss drugs in America. They're saying, and I quote, "We are seeing interest and awareness of Ozempic grow. These drugs are still quite novel, so it's especially important for brands of all types across industries to take note. This is really important time for retailers to pay attention and get ahead of the trend to make sure that they're prepared for the potential changing consumers, to make sure that they have the products on shelves online that they're going to meet their wants and needs." So this is what I'm saying about capitalism.
Yeah.
When a drug like Ozempic comes along, or a drug like whatever brand it is, what do capitalists and anyone who has some sort of finance or Wall Street do? They start to predict the trends of how it's going to affect other businesses. They don't care about the long-term effects of Ozempic, or if Ozempic or any of these drugs can be used for the rest of someone's life.
It's a foregone conclusion that people will be using it, they'll be buying it.
Yeah.
They're not worried about the impact of it. They're just looking at the figures, you know, the numbers.
And what is the hope of all capitalists or financiers? You never want a product that works consistently and that you never have to use anything ever again. You want something that can work short time and people keep coming back to, because then guess what? They're going to have to buy different products constantly, right? So first thing it's going to affect is our wardrobe. So
that is not something I had considered, you know?
Well, fashion may just be seen as a windfall, but as Ozempic grows, GLP-1s will provide structural tailwinds for the apparel industry, wrote Deutsche Bank analyst Adam Cronin. So this is so funny. This is all analysts straight away. It's not even like fashion people.
Yeah.
They're straight away, the analysts are like, so it's going to affect the fashion because the fat people no longer exist. Yeah. Which is not true. We're always going to exist. So according to the Bank of America, according to the Bank of America, consumers are expected to refresh their wardrobe for every 2 size changes. So that's interesting. For every 2 sizes you lose or gain, that's when you change your wardrobe. Okay. So Vogue Business came in with a very interesting article, and they spoke to, all of these analysts. So of course, a quote in here, of course, people losing weight require smaller clothes, but I also think when you lose weight, your confidence changes and you might be more attracted to different styles of clothing. So that's a quote. Okay.
I thought that was your personal opinion.
No.
Oh,
I'm saying it's a quote. And also, I just want to say, anything I'm saying up top, I'm going to have a bit more to say at the end of the episode. Yes. I just wanted to hit you with why they're saying
I thought this was your manifesto.
Shut up.
Your fatphobic manifesto.
I'm suddenly like, hey, fatties, lose the weight and inject yourself in the eyeballs with Ozempic.
Yeah.
But what are the long-term effects? The thing is as well, Kayla Marcy, a market analyst, came and said something that I'm curious about is the long-term effects. As we know, once people stop taking Ozempic, they gain the weight back. So this means weight fluctuations, which may result in many wardrobe refresh moments over time.
Hold on to the bigger clothes. Don't go donating them straight away.
Well, what they're saying is, actually, that works out much better for capitalism.
Absolutely.
Because if you then, every 2 sizes, you're going up and down or changing wardrobe, it's just constantly buying clothes. So it's led to a size inclusivity backslide. Okay, so most recent Vogue Business Spring Summer 2025 menswear size inclusivity report demonstrated that size inclusivity is and backsliding this year on the runway specifically. Across the season in 2025, the Spring Summer 2025 menswear collection. So you're talking about like that would have been shown this year. You know what I mean? Like for the upcoming menswear. Just 3 out of 65 brands So that's 4.6% included at least one plus size model. So 3 out of 65 brands.
Oh my goodness.
So this is for men's clothing. 4 seasons ago, it was 8 out of 69. Sorry, I just want to say this. At our best, it was 8 out of 69 brands. Now it's sliding back to 3 and we're like, well, we're losing it, lads.
Yeah.
That's how much, when we say like, size inclusivity, we were feeling like we were getting somewhere. We were even, the fight that we were fighting was 8 out of 69.
That's shocking. And I think, I just think that they're giving more credit to the potential impacts of Ozempic than, it actually is making a difference. 'Cause like you said, there will always be fat people. It's as if to say, oh, well, if 40 million Americans are using Ozempic, that's 40 million people who no longer need plus size clothing. You know what I mean? It's like, no.
Listen, all I'm going to say as well is like, right, we have experienced as millennials maybe 3 recessions. These are all analysts who would have said there would have been no housing crisis.
Yeah.
These are analysts who are like, oh, a bubble burst? No. You can always depend on housing. Like, so again, like when we talk about this like kind of tsunami that's coming with like Ozempic, I'm not going to say that people aren't going to use it. They are. But will they use it forever? And again, an answer I can kind of ask. I kind of answered that question by the end of the episode. But what I mean is that, like, again, in terms of capitalism, we do have short-term memories.
Yeah. And articles like this, whether they are predicting like, an increase in spending on fashion or a decrease on spending on plus size, like either way, it's good publicity for the drug companies, that are going
great
like,
publicity.
oh, this is going to generate a bit of a buzz.
And by the way, this article, Vogue Business.
Yeah.
Who benefits in Vogue from from fashion changes or people changing their wardrobes every 2 sizes? Vogue. Yeah. So like, again, I take all of this with a pinch of salt, but it did bring me back to this content creator who I second guessed because she came out with a thing and she went from shop to shop and said, no, I don't have your size. She's not insane. She's not making this up. Anyway, to go back, well, what it has given, right, is because of Ozempic, I don't think that it's, again, stopping fat people from being fat or wanting to be fashionable or anything like that. What it has done is allowed luxury brands, in my opinion, who never wanted to cater to fat people in the first place, go, oh, well, sure, listen, with Ozempic.
Discrimination.
Oh, well, the fatties don't need to be coming in at all, sure, they'll be gone.
Yeah.
But they won't be.
Sure, you're not on Ozempic. What are you looking for a 3XL and you're not on the Ozempic?
Yeah, imagine you come in, you walk in the door and they're like, sir, can I offer you some Ozempic before you even try and look at that
Before
shirt?
you make your purchases.
Before you waddle over here, sir, why don't you get some Ozempic into you? Anyway, here's a quote. Luxury brands have long been staunchly unwilling to cater to plus sizes outside of the occasional token representation. But typically premium...
Have you tried our fatty range? It's available in one of our 100 stores.
But like back in the day, this is another caveat, because I found a vintage sort of blog of like a vintage fashion blog, and they did, again, plus size clothing for men. I thought it was so interesting. But they used to call it the Husky range. And I was like...
Are you a husky gentleman in search of clothes? Yes, I am.
I'm a husky gal in search of clothes. Okay, so going back, but typically premium and mass players would invest more readily in plus sizes. So luxury brands didn't want to do it, but the mass brands were more willing to do it. Why? Because they're like, well, actually, there are fat people out here and we're going to make a lot of money. But now, this is from the article again, this quote, now we're seeing the effects of Ozempic and weight loss culture on retail as a whole. So it's not just the luxury brands who are taking it as like, we don't need to now pretend that we actually ever cared. But it is the mass ones who are also being like, well, if we have analysts telling us that sure everyone's going to be Kate Moss, why would we even need to make the clothing anymore? Yeah. Already, a host of US-based retailers and fashion companies, including Rent the Runway, are seeing boosted demand for smaller clothing sizes and falling demand for large sizes, according to the Wall Street Journal. Retailers have been investing in fewer products that offer larger sizing. In the US, dress options that are US 14 have decreased, a US size 14, have decreased by 15% year on year. So it's US size 14 and above, while skirts in a US size 14 and above are down by 2%. So that's US dress options, size 14 and above, have decreased by 15%. That is a huge decrease that they're producing. Okay?
Plus, retailers have traditionally catered to the plus size market, have reduced their options. It's a ASOS Curve line, which I would have noticed a big difference in. ASOS Curve line, meanwhile, has gone down from making up to 3% of the site's total arrivals by 2023 to 1.7%. So in 2023, it was 3% was plus size clothing of the total arrivals. Now it's 1.7%. Right. Now you're going to tell me, right, and I know the Curve line quite well, say in the UK market. I would sometimes see clothing that I'd be like, oh my God, I really like this. The Curve line kind of starts at a UK size 16. 3%. Like, the average size in the UK, I'm pretty sure, is a 16. And only 3% of the new arrivals were catering for the average size.
Yeah.
Like, now it's down to 1.7%.
Yeah.
Those are really depressing numbers from where we thought we were doing brilliantly. Thought we were kind of like, oh, we're making a mark here now. We're finally coming into body positivity. And you're telling me it was 3%.
That's
like
shocking. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. So plus size clothing will be the most at-risk category if Ozempic becomes mainstream outside of medical and celebrity usage. This is according to the article. Even when the body acceptance movement was at its peak, the industry wasn't responding fast enough. And that is exactly what it was. Even though culturally we were at a place where we were like, hey, people like Lizzo should exist. We weren't even being like, let's celebrate. We were like, oh, yes, you should be allowed to be alive.
What you going to wear? We don't know. We're working on that.
We only have 3% of the clothing.
If only someone could invent a drug that would mean people like them don't exist anymore.
That'd be fantastic.
And then we won't have to make bigger clothes.
Well, they're not just getting ready with the clothing, okay? With this, and you can feel the excitement coming out of Wall Street now with Ozempic. Jesus, aren't they getting ready for loads of different things?
There's some lads. There's some lads.
Let's go into it. The finance firm Jefferies estimated the growth in usage could save airlines millions.
I knew you were going to say,
costs.
Grace, as soon as you went, I was like, I bet this is, Peter Singer with his charging fat people extra.
Yeah.
Come on.
Genuinely, they're like, oh yeah, no, it's going to save us some fuel. Are you fucking
praise
kidding
me,
me?
Ozempic,
Like, but it's just so stupid because, like, no, it's not. And also, here, listen, if the weight of people are such an issue, okay, surely we could be packing less.
Yeah. Yeah.
And actually, do you know what's going to be a problem? With all those fat people becoming thin, just don't they buy so many clothes that'll bring the weight of the airplane up again? It'll all even out, lads.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, shut up.
Yeah. Also, the fat people with no clothes that fit them in their suitcases, that's going to bring their weight down.
Yeah, like, I think we're averaging out
then there's
here.
a thin person with all the clothes in the world that fit them in their suitcase, and that's bringing up their weight allowance.
Are you telling me Kate Moss, who weighs very little, doesn't travel with a load of clothes? I mean, that woman has clothes coming out of her ears.
It don't make no sense.
Okay, let's go for, what about beauty? Well, skincare is
Surely
predicted.
that won't be affected.
Well, skincare is predicted a huge shift. And that's because skin target elasticity, hydration and firmness will be a problem if Ozempic booms. You know why? Because when people lose weight in a very short amount of time, their skin starts to loosen and they become quite gaunt looking. Well, expect to see the growth in formulations, okay, containing retinoids, peptides, hyaluronic acid, which I've actually seen a huge boost in recently anyway, because it boosts collagen production and improves skin texture. This is according to a scientist and medical physician in this article. She also predicts new formulations to improve muscle definition and manage tissue distribution will emerge, okay? What is on the market and is continuing to grow alongside Ozempic craze are products to regenerate properties such as stem cell extracts and advanced peptides, okay?
What?
Basically to support collagen production.
Okay.
There's currently no dedicated skincare formulations to address Ozempic. That is a problem. That's like, if you're saying there's no dedicated formulations to address Ozempic, means that they are that worried about what Ozempic does to people.
Well, I mean, the whole thing about the pharmaceutical industry and being prescribed drugs for various ailments is you get prescribed one drug for this ailment, but then the side effects of that drug need its own drugs or products in itself. So, the Ozempic gives you this benefit, allegedly, but it may also give you these 10 side effects. So there's actually creams and drugs and ointments and potions for some of these side effects. But guess what? The new thing that you're taking for side effect will also have its own side effects, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
And you get caught in that cycle. Like, it's very much like...
And it's money.
Money,
And
cash money.
Again, all I'll always say is that, like, this is your body, whatever you want to do with it. But just remember that people are making a lot of money out of that.
Grace, it don't make
no sense. That should be the new quote. It don't make no sense. Okay.
We're just devolving. Yeah.
We're just going to become like, don't have a cow, man.
Catchphrase machines, yeah.
Coinciding with the rise of Ozempic use, the American Society of Plastic Surgeons have already reported a 5% increase year on year in facial plastic surgeries and a 7% increase in minimal invasive procedures, okay? So basically this is an attempt to reverse the Ozempic face. That's a kind of like whatever.
Oh, Ozempic face, yeah.
Yeah. So that again would be like dermal fillers, fat grafting.
Oh my God, lads.
It's really...
it's just endless.
It's making me very sad. It genuinely is making me very, very sad. Okay, so moving along, right? What else will it affect? And here is where I actually got very mad when I was reading up, particularly by Vogue Business. Hair care brands are going to benefit. Why do you think hair care brands are going to benefit?
Hair care brands will benefit. Hair care... I can't think of it. I honestly don't know. I don't think
what
like these
happens...
things. When you
and
lose
this
weight.
is when a lot of people, particularly with eating disorders, actually, when they lose weight in a very short amount of time,
their hair falls out. Because of nutrient deficiency and stress and stuff.
Yeah. Because with Ozempic, and one thing we don't like to talk about with Ozempic, again, with people taking Ozempic, there's many reasons why people take it. Like, and again, weight loss can be one of them.
Yeah.
But one thing we don't talk about is that what it does is take away your appetite. When you're sick, what's one of the last things that happens to you is your appetite goes.
Yeah.
A big indicator if you go to the doctor
Yeah.
and you're getting diagnosed with something serious and they'll go, do you have an appetite?
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm.
That is actually an indicator that something is seriously
Yeah.
wrong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When you don't have an appetite, you're going to have to make yourself want to eat. Hopefully you'll get the nutrients in. A lot of people aren't getting the nutrients in because they're not getting the nutritional advice of what they need to eat.
Yeah.
Hair loss, and that's what happened to me and a number of people I know, that when they lost weight in a short amount of time, is their hair started to fall out. Well, Jesus, didn't the articles go in? Well, don't be worried about that. Because hair loss, and dermatologists at Columbia and Boston University, Dr. Hannah Kolperman, anticipates an uptick in demand for hair growth treatments and food supplements designed to support hair health. And she goes on to explain, significant weight loss can lead to temporary hair shedding due to stress on the body. I've had Ozempic patients express concerns about hair thinning and invest in supplements to counteract it. Her hair supplements contain things like biotin and mixoxidil for maintenance and strength. Like that in itself in an article made me want to fucking cry.
I know.
That it would be said that like the stress, because that's what she said, this is the quote, the stress, due to the stress on the body. Because the stress of losing that much weight in such a short amount of time. Like, sometimes I am like, are we losing our minds? Like, again, it's like whatever you want to do with your body, but this is a thing that they're promoting. Like, well, you know what's going to be a great benefit is the hair industry is going to earn loads of money. Not, well, God, like this is a lot to be undertaking. I hope the people who are taking Ozempic are getting the support they need, the information they need. Possibly the counselling you might need from like long-term effects and how is this going to affect your body? Not, well, it's going to be a great old boost now for the hair care industry.
That's it. Like, if you notice hair loss and you go to the doctor and they're like, oh, wow, we can't figure it out, but there's some products that can help you with that, great, you know? But if you're like, hey, this product that you're going to take or this drug that you're going to take, it may give you some positive effects in what you're looking for with your weight, but you're going to have to, like, you know, you're going to be losing hair as well. Like,
it was so depressing to read that for the first time. I actually had to take a break because obviously this, I have direct, you know, this has happened to people I know and to myself, that I was like, God, like, poor little younger me who I... like, no one was there to tell me that actually this, you know, this isn't normal, that this is happening, and that maybe actually the stress that's having on your body, it's how much we hate fat people.
I know.
It is how much we hate softness. It's how much we want visible muscles. It's how we want to be lean. How afraid are we to be soft? And it makes me mad because I'm soft all the time. I'm a little softy. I'm a cutie pie. I just find it mad. Anyway, we're moving on. Ozempic is changing the way people eat. It's only a matter of time until it changes the way people approach their health and fitness routines. This is according to the article. And goes on to quote, receiving the correct amount of protein and essential nutrients plus making sure a client is hydrating properly is important. Thirst and hunger cues can be missed. And this is from a nutritionist who was quoted in the article. Again, a nutritionist, not a dietitian, which I would have much preferred a dietitian to be quoted in this article. As a result, the supplement market will have to adjust to accommodate the new influx of Ozempic users. They will need to take a multivitamin supplements to address nutritional deficiencies and collagen boosters to preemptively address volume loss. That was from a Dr. Martin Murphy of Palm Beach Facial Plastic Surgery. Moreover, as Ozempic users wean themselves off the drug, they'll likely look for an alternative solution to keep the weight gain to a minimum. So here's another problem that's going to come up.
Yeah.
So when you start weaning yourself off the drug, how are you going to deal with, again, that terrible thing of an appetite coming back? So carving out an opportunity for the supplement brand and ingredient market to cater for the emerging consumer base.
So wait, so what's their solution there?
There's no solution. What they're saying is there's a gap in the market.
So that's...
ingredients such as berberine, coined as Nature's Ozempic, reached sales of 959 million in 2023 and is forecasted by the research company Persistence Market Research to reach 2.1 billion by 2033. So here you go. Not only are you coming off it then and going, oh God, my appetite's coming back. Lo and behold, the worst thing that could ever happen to a human being. What am I going to do to stop the weight gain? Which for some people is legitimate. Some people have gone on this for whatever reason and they panic then. Yeah. Because that's the big panic of any diet. And this is a diet of its own kind, or any product you use. Oh, I have to keep the weight off. How am I going to do this? Here's how am I going to get other products? Because are you going to stay on Ozempic forever?
Again, just like my original reaction to the Ozempic thing was, it's just like every other diet in that it may work for a little while, it may not. And once you go off it, everything will just revert back to normal, right? Potentially. So it's very much like so many other diets. But then when you are weaning yourself off it or coming off it, you're kind of back to the same old crap.
There's the panic maintenance. How we get maintenance?
Try this appetite suppressant. Try these pills. Try this diet. Try fasting. Try blah blah blah. And you're just kind of back to, I tried a fad diet and it left me either the same or worse off.
And a lot more expensive.
Yeah,
from what I can gather from
guaranteed. Guaranteed. The most guarantee from it is that it's made your wallet lighter. You know what? My wallet looks great. It didn't take much pounds off the hips, but it took a few pounds out of the wallet. You know.
Hi, Fad Camp listeners. Myself and Conor finally got our act together and we have official Fad Camp merch up for sale. We are so excited. Now, my particular favourite is the enamel mug and the beanie, but we have loads of products for sale. So if you want to get any of our Fad Camp merch, please go to fadcamp.myshopify.com. That's fadcamp.myshopify.com. You'll be able to find the link to where our merch is for sale in our Instagram bio and our TikTok bio, as well as we'll have a little link in all of our episode descriptions.
Hey guys, hope you're enjoying the episode. If you want to hear more bonus exclusive content for Fad Camp, make sure to log on to Head Stuff Plus, and for as little as $5 a month, you can support our show and other shows in the Head Stuff Podcast Network and hear exclusive content from Fad Camp. That's bonus episodes, photos, videos. It's a really good time, so we hope to see you there. Now, back to the show.
It's not only going to affect, of course, airlines, air brands, the airlines. I thought was the funniest thing because, by the way, it was the shortest part of the article because there was no logic to it. So it's like, it's just kind of fuel costs.
Yeah, obviously. No, you don't even need to go into
no need to provide a statistic or anything.
Physics of that or anything. No.
Fitness brands. Morning Consult found that 38% of GLP-1 users surveyed in November 2023 reported exercising more often since they began to take the drugs for the weight loss. Oh, does that ever happen now when you go on a diet and you exercise more often? No, I'd never heard that before. Anyway, come back to the quote. To prevent future weight gain. So, as a result, sales in activewear and active leisure segments are expected to rise. Again, Morgan Stanley research reveals that 30% of the surveyed consumers who take GLP-1s say they've bought more active leisure apparel and footwear since starting the drug.
The Lululemons, baby.
There you go. Like, who might start investing in these things? Like, Weight Watchers have shown that they're up with investing or coinciding, I don't know exactly the right phrasing, with Ozempic.
Oh, yeah.
Activewear, they're going to be on it as well, should this benefits us. You know, the reason I'm bringing all of this back is that I just want to remind people that this is your body and you can do whatever you want with it. It's your home if you want to take Ozempic. And I know people who are on Ozempic or have taken or taken other types of drugs.
What are their names?
I'll give you a list. No, we'll publish it on our Instagram.
Yeah.
But no, but like, and either are very happy with it.
Sure.
Some people it didn't work for, but and they've taken it for so many reasons.
Yeah.
That, by the way, they don't need to give me a reason.
Exactly.
They don't need to provide a reason. What I always come back to is that someone is going to make money off of you.
Yeah.
And remember that if you quote unquote fail, they'll still make money off you. You are not a failure. You are not someone's product. This is your home, and you're allowed to do with your body what you want, but you don't owe anyone anything.
And this all, like, as I'm listening to it, it's all sounds very new and shocking in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, it sounds very, like, kind of familiar. Like, you know, when you go on a diet, guess what? You go run out and buy a bunch of new activewear, or you buy a bunch of new supplements or creams or whatever that you might feel like you need. And it just sounds like the whole Ozempic thing is just the new filter through which we're looking at this whole thing.
Yes.
And it's like the one ring to rule them all kind of thing. Because it kind of ties it all together nicely. Like, and everything kind of stems out from it. You know?
What a great... That is not a one ring to rule
That's my
them
nerd
all.
side showing, you know.
Well, we start to answer the questions that we were asking in the first part of, like, okay, is Ozempic really going to change everything? Is Ozempic really the reason we're doing all of this and blah, blah, blah? And the answer is really no.
Right.
So, the question of, is plus-size clothing disappearing? Yes, but is it because of Ozempic? No. Kind of not and kind of yes. Like, it's just sort of like, I think with luxury brands, they're using it as a reason to no longer have to pretend to care for fat people. But there are a number of reasons why the numbers are down with plus-size clothing. So
it's almost like the Yoko factor. I don't know.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
From Buffy. Remember they talked about that in Buffy?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, the Beatles were already kind of breaking up.
Yeah.
But she was there and she was an easy kind of scapegoat. So everyone
she was a woman.
And she was a woman and she was a minority.
Yeah,
let's blame her and hate her. But really, there were problems.
Can I just say, what a great way of you brought in a lovely Lord of the Rings reference. Now a Beatles reference. Let's put a bet on what's the next reference that's coming out here.
It could be anything. But that's the thing. It's like, you know, people will happily hang their hat on this new trendy, buzzwordy kind of topic. And guess what? It's also very kind of financially focused as well. So we can make all of our predictions. And sure, do you want to talk about financial predictions? I remember watching a segment on like the Colbert Report years ago where a financial expert said this whole new Bitcoin thing, it's not going to go anywhere. And I remember being like, okay, I won't invest. Back when Bitcoin cost €1 per coin and now it costs like $100,000 per coin.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it hasn't taken over in the way that I think people have,
No.
the Bitcoin would have wanted.
Yes.
But at the same time, yes, there was money to be made
But I
there.
was saying, if I had bought €100 worth of Bitcoin 10 years ago, I would have like $10 million, okay? So
Imagine Conor's like, I'd be Ozempic in my eyeballs. Ozempic in the eyeballs. What I'm
do you think I'd be here talking to you right now if I had invested in Bitcoin,
in this
Grace?
shitty little podcast?
But people can kind of speculate all they want and kind of like try to connect the dots, but really there's something deeper going on here, you know?
For sure. I mean, and listen, it's like the chicken and the egg sort of thing. You know, some people are like, oh, there's less plus size clothing. Oh, is there ever that much? And let's be honest, like they're like, oh, we're noticing that, like, you know, there's a less demand for plus size clothing. Well, it's actually because some people were like, well, I never was able to get any good clothing anyway. So here's what we do know, okay? Only 32% of patients were still taking GLP-1 medicine for weight loss after 12 months.
GLP.
So to get that again, only 32% were still taking it within a year. GLP. And people who discontinue use of GLP-1s regain most of the weight they lost. Okay. So even if companies are expecting sales of larger sizes to be down, it would be short-sighted to view that as a permanent shift. And this is what I mean about capitalism is short-sighted.
Yeah.
This is a trend that people are like, oh, well, there's no need for plus-size clothing. Yeah. No. Like 32% of patients were only still on that drug for a year. Mm-hmm. Well, like, and that they most regained weight. Yeah, like plus-size clothing is always going to be a demand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they'll find a way to spin that to their benefit as well.
Yes.
They're like, oh, did you, like a lot of our customers, donate all of your plus size clothes when you lost weight in Ozempic and now you've regained it back? Well, don't worry. We're here to swoop in with more stuff you can buy.
Exactly.
You know?
And as I said, luxury clothing retailers were the quickest to jump on the downsizing trend because they wanted to get...
Yeah, they were already
and again, early adopters of the weight loss drug tended to be wealthy. So because insurers have been slower to cover Ozempic's out-of-pocket price of about $1,000 a month, that presented an opportunity for high-fashion brands to court thinner shoppers. This is from a partner at Kearney who focus on like luxury and fashion. So look at that. Okay, purchases of size small women's clothing increased 5% since 2022 on New York's Upper East Side. So of course, like luxury... Like luxury brands in a way, we're like, of course we're not going to we're just going to get rid of this because like our shoppers can afford $1,000 a month on Ozempic. The firm looked at sales from retailers' flagship stores on Madison Avenue between 2022 and this year and found that size curve clothing and women's clothing, particularly like certain shirts, tended to be trending smaller. So sales of shirts in XXS and XS and S increased in popularity by 12%, while sales of L, XL and XXL decreased by 11%. I mean, that, would show you that it probably is like those Ozempic users that have gone from like smaller sizes. But is it just that people are getting smaller? Well, not really. Okay, so you're talking like that one statistic said like, oh, we've seen a 12% bump in smaller sizes, 11% dip in bigger sizes. Well, also, we're still reading from the effects of COVID-19. COVID-19, which we don't like to talk about, but actually did affect us. It
never happened. What pandemic?
What? It doesn't make any sense.
I learned no lessons.
When lockdowns took place, several global suppliers either had to shut their doors or no longer produce certain products. The bigger sizes were hit the hardest, with many plus-size retailers closing altogether. Oh. So again, that affects all of the stats that are coming out, okay? Also, let's be honest, when plus-size clothing starts to disappear, the plus-size collections, when I say, Conor, become ill-fitting and uninspired, they are just not clothing you want to bother buying.
No.
Right? Plus-size clothing can be so infantilizing. This is from one writer, Kirsty McDermott. Sacky shapes, awful patterns, decals, cold shoulders. It's insulting too. It's like, you're fat, this old jersey will do you. It's so true though. Those cold shoulders, I don't know what it is people think about fat women that we're like, we love to show off these little shoulders of ours. Like,
show off your assets, ladies.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like being a child of the 90s where everything was just like a big oversized jersey.
A Gap jumper.
You know,
I lived in a Gap jumper and a mustache. But there is a false perception that there is no market for bigger sizes, which can be fed by weight-related stigma and discrimination, or the idea that because you're fat, you're lazy, and so you don't have the money to spend as a result. Like, it is that thing as well, I think, where it is harder, particularly when you go into shops, to ask for the size that you want to ask for. Like, again, I referenced that TikTok content creator. She was going in and she's like, yeah, so I'm looking for a 3XL. And they would just be like, oh, we have that on our website, but not in store. Like, they're almost like, why did you come in here? Like, it is that thing, and they're kind to her. It's not like, but they're almost being like, no, we've never literally. Why wouldn't you have that in your store? Like, it's an insane thing to me to be like, again, fatphobia trumps capitalism. Discrimination trumps capitalism, which is, to me, crazy. When capitalism is like everyone's, like, the reason people vote for certain people tends to be because of their pocket. So how is it that fatphobia of like most like somehow,
why limit your consumer base if there's proven numbers of people who want these products? You know, like often when I get to a store and they don't have the 2XL or whatever size, you know, sometimes it's grayed out like, oh, it's all sold out, and sometimes it's just not even listed, and you're like, But often I go, oh, did they just sell out all of my size because there's more people going, oh, give me that 2XL because that's my size or whatever, you know?
I
hard
don't think so. Like, as this writer said, I'll often spot something I like and there won't be available above a 14.
Mm-hmm.
Often a 14 is the XL in the range.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me. You've just wiped out a slew of customers by not offering even a couple more sizes. But they're wrong because the plus pound is profitable, baby girl. In a report by Future Markets Insights, the plus size clothing market in the US reached $601.7 billion in 2022 and is projected to reach, like, I can't even say this. I don't know if I could this 1,044.3 billion by 2032.
Like or something?
I thought it'd be a trillion. But listen,
yeah.
In a recent interview with Elle magazine, American designer Christian Siriano admitted he grew his business by extending
Cristiano Siriano.
Great name. Admitted he grew his business by extending his range. He said, "Adding plus size clothing to my line tripled my business." Do we not want to triple the business?
Yeah.
Do we not want these women? Do we not think these women should wear our clothes? Do we not think these women? Do we not want these women to have beautiful things because we're afraid they're not beautiful? And I think that's like the big thing where I'm like, fat phobia trumps capitalism. He tripled his business.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that all these people who are out here and it's like, it's just about the business. Don't worry, it's not because of discrimination. It's like, well, there's the proof. There is so much money. There's billions upon billions in plus size clothing. You just do not want fat people in your clothing. You don't want it. And just come out and not even come out and say that. But actually you can. Karl Lagerfeld used to come out and say awful things. And people still bought Chanel.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like even just anecdotally, like from my personal experience, like I have found that like even sometimes when websites are like, oh yeah, we can do that, like you're buying a pair of jeans and like, we can do that waist size, and it's like, oh cool, but then you try to get like the correct leg size and they're like, oh no, like if your waist is that big, you're clearly 7 feet tall. You know, so like that's kind of like...
You're Andre the Giant.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense what you're trying to suggest. So you end up getting stuff that fits around the waist, but the legs are too long. And that's kind of like a design thing that they're like... I mean, I'm sure they can only do so many permutations of like this pair of jeans. But I think it's like an oversight.
But that is also not true because jeans, particularly if you go into Levi, right? And I did try and shop in Levi in the shop one time. And again, I think their heads exploded when I was like, actually, no, that's my waist. Yeah. And they were also looking at me being like, oh, but like, no, you'd fit into this. And I'm like, no, this is actually like, because actually when you do see people, you're like, oh yeah, like you're just built different.
Yeah.
Like I just carry more weight around my stomach. I'm not pear-shaped. I think I'm apple-shaped, which is the most fucking insulting fruit to call me. Like I'm wide in the middle.
What else are people like banana shaped? Like
I swear to God, it's banana, apple. Banana is just long and lanky, right?
Oh my God.
Apple, pear, hourglass, and then potato.
Potato?
Yeah, which is actually the worst.
I think that's me.
No, you're not potato. You're not. You're just Irish. You're not potato. Potato, man. But no, but that's it. Like there are people who are potato, but like even that's insulting. Like pick another shape. We can. There's loads of shapes out there. We don't need a potato anyway. Because let's look at the arguments on the other side. Some people will be like, okay, well, yeah, they don't have a 3XL in there, but like it's not like they have loads of the smaller sizes. Well, the same content creator went into shops because she was like, well, people keep telling me petite girlies have it hard too, which I'm sure they do, but the reaction was different.
What's the smallest size you carry in store?
Usually like extra small or extra small.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Do you have like a extra small or?
We have extra small and extra small.
Oh, you got the little size.
Yeah, we do.
Pardon, what's the smallest size y'all have in store? Yeah. Extra small? Okay. Hi, good, how are you? Do you have like a double extra small?
Our PJs, they tend to come in extra small and extra small.
What's the smallest size that you might have?
You get like dresses and like double X.
Okay. Hi. I'm wondering what's the smallest size you might have in store?
Extra small. Some items go to double X.
Okay. What would be the smallest size that I can find in store?
Extra small.
Extra small? Okay, thank you. What's the smallest size you would carry in store?
Extra small.
Extra small? What's going to be the smallest size that you carry in store?
Probably extra small.
Extra small? Okay. What's the smallest size y'all have in store?
It'll be a second extra small.
It's like a extra small? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
So I literally just goes from shop to shop to shop, right?
Yeah.
She keeps going in. They're like, for the most part, loads of them are like, yeah, extra small, extra small.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the numbers in our society, there are more bigger people than there are smaller people. Like this is the facts of the case. Like the average size is what, like I think in the UK is 14 to 16, and I don't know. I think it's the same in the US, but I know that's different sizing. She's going in, and they're like, "Yeah, we've got extra small and extra small in store," which is right. Of course they should, but it also should mean they should have XL, XXL, XL. Like these are. It's not, because I want smaller people to be represented. Because you're going in and you are a person who is willing to hand over money for a product. And actually, under this society, we should all be seen as equal. When we have the money to spend and we're going in, you should be treated with respect. You shouldn't be hidden away on some website like you're some sort of fucking gremlin that like can't possibly be dressed.
Come with me to the back room and we'll try to figure this thing out.
Exactly. And actually, one other argument I would make is that a lot of these shops have children's clothing. Some of my friends have very small sizes or small feet, and they can actually get into children's sizes, which is cheaper, which I'm like, good on you, great. So not only actually do you have XS and XSS, you then can probably go into some children's clothing. So you have even more options. And children's clothing these days, they're well dressed, okay? What I'm saying is that the options tend to be even extended for you in store, because we should all have access to clothing. It's really important that we are all able to clothe ourselves, not only for, I think, just because we want to be dressed, but also because it's really important for how we feel about ourselves. When you put on clothing that you feel good in, it changes you. Like it just does, and everyone deserves it. I want to end on this one quote, okay? So this is from...
the quote is, "It don't make no sense."
But this, to me, what the first part of this podcast episode was all about was like this kind of avalanche of like kind of depressing information about how Ozempic will change everything. It's going to change everything. It's going to change the way we walk and talk. You know what I mean?
People are disappearing left, right and centre.
Like, if anything, like a gust, like a burst of smoke and they're gone.
They're an endangered species.
Yeah, I think they're dead. Yeah. They're all dead.
We killed them.
But the thing is that actually, realistically, that's not the case. Like, there's still more of a market for plus size clothing than ever. And
we ain't going nowhere, and we need to be clothed.
Do you want us walking around naked? Because I'll do it.
You don't want that. We know you don't want that.
But there were so many people who, in one particular article, who kind of work in the fashion industry, who were like, there was 10 great quotes. And again, I'll put all of the article links in our show notes so that you can access this information as well. But I thought this was one of them was that this is a trend, and again, we're going to be having the same conversation in 2033 than we were in 2023 and vice versa. But this was a great quote from Kimberly Gordon, founder and creative director of Sleeky. And we'll probably edit this down, but I'll read it out in full. We're talking about clothing, which some people think is vapid or that they file away in their minds as just some girl stuff. But the thing about fashion is that literally all of us wear clothes every day, and those clothes tell the world who we are. They are statements about what we love and how we want to show who we are inside and the feelings we want to put out there, whether we try or not. That's what our clothes do. And when you stop an entire population of people from being able to buy clothes that let them tell people who they are, you are going to see a massive amount of emotion when they suddenly are able to do that. When they see that on the runway, and reflected, well, that's life-changing. It's something we shouldn't underestimate. It could change how someone functions their whole life and change how they feel. A dress can be the difference between staying home and going out and joining the world. So I think it's an incredibly big deal to a lot of people that they can wear clothing that expresses who they are.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Fad Camp. As always, we want to thank our producer, Darren Lee. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to review us on iTunes, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Great ratings and reviews really help more people find the show, and it would mean a lot to us.
Make sure to share the episodes with friends and family or on your social media. Every listen helps.
And we absolutely love hearing from our listeners, so please get in touch with any of your diet stories on fadcamppodcast@gmail.com.
This show is part of the Head Stuff Podcast Network, a hub for the creative and the curious. Shows are produced in association with Head Stuff and the Podcast Studios Dublin. Find out more or become a member at headstuffpodcasts.com.